Imagine you have spent 3 years developing a medical device. The design works, testing passed, customers love it, the product is in the market. Then a reviewer asks a simple question: show me how this design input was verified. You search through folders, you search through emails, you search through old reports, and then suddenly everyone realizes the information exists. The test passed, you know that. You recall that vividly. However, the evidence trail doesn't. The evidence doesn't match. The device may be excellent, the engineers may be excellent, but the design history file is weak. Today, we are going to discuss why good engineers still create bad design history files and what you can do to prevent it. This topic is excellent because it addresses a painful reality in the medical device industry. Most device history file problems are not caused by bad engineers. They're caused by good engineers who misunderstand what the design history file is actually supposed to do. It's rather very common that there are many great designs and well-performing devices out there, but the evidence is weak or not well documented. One of the biggest misunderstandings in our industry is thinking that a DHF is simply a collection of documents. It isn't. A DHF is an evidence demonstrating that the design was developed according to the approved design plan and design control requirements. In simple terms, a DHF is not a folder. A DHF is a story. For those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Sardar Mostofa. I've been involved in medical device product development, engineering, quality, regulatory, and operations for over a decade, from lead product development engineer to vice president of quality and regulatory, serving most countries in the world. And I'm known for transforming complex medical device challenges into innovative, sustainable solutions. I also teach and mentor an undergraduate engineering program, product development course, bridging the gap between theory and practice. My mission today is helping professionals become more effective engineers, quality professionals, and leaders, while helping organizations build better products and quality systems. In my early days as a new product development engineer and project manager, I was assigned a DHF remediation project for a device in the market for several years. As I opened the file cabinet, I found several thick binders labeled with a large bold DHF and the device part number. I started the project solo all by myself without any help because there was another project going on with a number of people, with product development engineers, project manager, regulatory expert. They were working on a different remediation project that has been going on for several months. Knowing that helped me because I knew I had to do something different. So I started looking for a pattern as I was reviewing the DHF documents. Soon I found that everything was in random order. There was no pattern, nothing to rely upon. Each document, protocol, report, design plan, risk management documents were independent documents without a rationale. None was revision controlled. So it was like a large puzzle. If you had seen my office back then, the wall was filled with posters and sticky notes drawing connections to create a storyboard. I was trying to link all the documents and trying to find the root, where it started and how it evolved. Finally, I solved the puzzle, but it was painful. I'm sharing this story because it's a rather common scenario in the medical device industry. And as you will learn, it doesn't have to be that way. If you're an engineer or a manager, know that the DHF or design history file is more than just documents. It's a compelling story that highlights each phase of the design process. I refer to as the design story file sometimes because stories naturally have a beginning, a middle, and an end, with each part illustrating potential risks, strategies for mitigation, and ultimately success. This approach emphasizes the importance of every step in achieving a successful design outcome. My understanding of design history or design story has been profoundly shaped by three experiences. First, I shared a story about remediation in the DHF, which clarified its significance for me. Second, visiting clinics and hospitals to observe real patients. It has been eye-opening, seeing their struggles and witnessing how our devices truly save lives or improve lives. And third, participating or attending training sessions led by seasoned practitioners, engineers, and managers, those who have been those who have first-hand experience, and they can share their stories that you can relate to. That has a profound impact on me. Those three things: the remediation, the clinical visit, and training by professional practitioners. Now let's look at why talented engineers build incomplete or weak DHFs. Here is reason number one. Engineers are problem solvers. I've been there. I still do. They naturally prioritize designing, prototyping, testing, fixing problems. Documentation often feels secondary. The mindset becomes, I will update the DHF later. That brings our reason number two. Reason number two, documentation becomes an afterthought. Many teams treat DHF activities as cleanup work at the end of the project. The project runs for 2 years. Then someone says, we need to assemble the DHF. That statement alone is a warning sign, isn't it? The result is documentation written months after decisions were made. Important rationale is lost by the time. Critical links disappear. And the design is good. The documentation is weak. A DHF should not be assembled at the end. It should be built continuously throughout the development of the project. Reason number three why good engineers create bad design history files. Because teams document activities but not traceability. This is probably the most common problem I see. Organizations have requirements, drawings, protocols, reports, everything exists. However, nothing is connected. For example, user need 1 should connect to design input 1, which should connect to design output 1, which should connect to verification test 1, which should connect to validation evidence. Without those connections, documents are isolated, fragmented, disconnected folders, not a chained story. Reason number 4. Risk management lives in a separate universe, in a separate folder. Another common problem occurs when risk files and DHFs evolve independently. The risk management team updates hazards, and engineering team updates requirements. Neither side updates traceability, linking the two. Soon, risks don't link requirements. Requirements don't lead to mitigations. Verification doesn't demonstrate the effectiveness of risk controls. This creates major compliance gaps. Risk management should be woven into the DHF, not stored beside it. Reason number 5. Design reviews become meetings instead of reviews. Many design reviews look like this: a meeting invitation, a presentation, attendance sheet, meeting minutes, done. But effective design reviews should demonstrate independent evaluations, identification of issues, risk discussion, action items, resolution of concerns. A design review is a decision-making checkpoint, not a calendar event. It's a gating mechanism that approves whether you are ready to go to the next level or not, next phase or not. Reason number 6, and one of the most critical ones. Engineers document what they did, but not why. Why was this requirement chosen? Why was this design changed? Why was this test method selected? Many DHFs show what happened. Few explain why. The rationale behind decisions is often the most valuable part of the file or design journey. Remember, a future reviewer wasn't in the room when the decision was made. The DHF must explain the reasoning, independent of time. Let's review the hidden cost of a weak DHF. Many people assume DHF only affects audits. That's not true. Weak DHFs create problems throughout the entire product lifecycle. Do you know what the most significant impact of a weak DHF is? The answer will vary depending on who you ask. A regulatory specialist, a product development engineer, and a manager may answer it differently. Having been in all different roles, I can tell you this. The most significant impact of a weak DHF that requires remediation is the loss of product knowledge. The moment has passed. The time has passed. The original team has moved on, and priorities, passion, and team spirit have all changed. Even if you remediate this DHF, it will not be the same DHF anymore. Now, let's see how great engineering teams build great DHFs. Principle number one, build documentation concurrently. Document decisions while they are fresh, not months later. If a design decision is important enough to make, it's important enough to document also. Principle number two, think in traceability chains. Think in traceability chains. Every requirement should have a home. Every test should have a purpose. Every risk control should have evidence. Train yourself to ask, what does this connect to? What does the activity that I'm doing connect to? Close the loop. Principle number three, capture decision rationale. Don't simply record conclusions. Record your reasoning. Future engineers and reviewers need context. Principle number four, integrate risk throughout the development process. Risk management should influence requirements, design reviews, verification and validation, design changes, not just the risk file. Principle number five, view the DHF as a communication tool. The best DHFs tell a clear story. A reviewer should be able to follow the design journey without needing the original project team there. If they can't, the DHF isn't doing its job. So why do good engineers create bad design history files? Not because they lack technical skill, not because they don't care, but because they often view the DHF as a documentation instead of evidence, instead of story. The DHF is not paperwork. The DHF is proof. Proof that user needs became requirements. Proof that risks were addressed. Proof that testing demonstrated safety and effectiveness. Proof that the design process was controlled. Weave your engineering actions and evidence as you progress. The strongest companies don't create DHFs at the end, they build them every day. And when they do, audits become easier, investigations become faster, and product knowledge remains intact, even after the original team has moved on. If you are involved in medical device design and development, start looking at your DHF not as a regulatory requirement, but as the engineering story of your product. Because somebody, someday, will need to read that story, and it should make sense. Let me know where you need help. Leave a comment below. I'll see you in the next class.